Okay, so everyone is trying to predict what good old Jerome Powell is going to do with the markets, and the truth is we don't know. We don't know what Jerome Powell is going to do with interest rates. We think things are starting to get better according to data, but as history has shown, we have no clue what Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve are going to do moving forward. But what we do know is we can look at a couple of different indicators with the market, look at data with Bitcoin to see, okay, what is actually going on with Bitcoin whales? What's actually going on with a couple of indicators that look extremely bullish? So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to quickly go over what's going on with Elon Musk and Tesla, because we're seeing like a double U-turn take place with that. Right now, Elon Musk, we had seen that he had originally pulled out of the deal to buy Twitter. Then just the other day, we saw new reports come out saying that essentially he was going to go ahead with the deal at the same exact terms at the $54 per share, basically, to buy Twitter. Now we're seeing that this could be an issue yet again because Apollo, 6th Street are no longer in talks to finance the Twitter deal. Because remember, when Elon Musk had been looking to finance this deal to buy Twitter for over $40 billion, the markets were very different. Loans were very different at that time. Interest rates were very different. And it was much easier for Elon Musk to get the capital he needed to then go ahead and buy Twitter. The problem right now is that he really is on the hook for having to buy it. And this could have massive negative impacts on Tesla stock if you own it. Because think about it. If people aren't going to finance the deal for Elon Musk anymore, the only thing he can do to actually have enough money is sell shares of Tesla. That is where he has equity. That is where he has a lot of his money. So the only thing he could do is, if he can't find financing some other way, if a lot of these people who are going to finance the deal are pulling out, now he's going to have to sell Tesla stock. And while we have seen Tesla stock already react negatively to this news, things could get even worse because he's going to have to sell billions of dollars worth of Tesla stock. So just keep an eye on this over the coming days and weeks as we can see how this develops. But right now, things are not looking too great for Tesla stock in particular, as it looks like Elon Musk is going to have to dump a lot of his shares so he can have enough money to go ahead and buy the $44 billion deal that he had previously agreed to for buying Twitter. I want to quickly interrupt today's video to bring you a word from our channel partner, Winkyverse. The Winkyverse is the first global educational game in the metaverse, and it offers a broad array of fun gameplay experiences and learning-oriented content curated for adults, children's families, and everyone. The cool thing about Winkyverse is that it has one part of the game geared towards kids and one part of the game geared towards adults. The Winkyverse Kids is totally free with no monetary elements or ads, and it provides families and kids with safe games to play. The adults part features different curated content in a tokenized world like NFTs, play to earn activities, and more. And this is something that I personally haven't seen in the metaverse just yet, where there are two separate parts that are geared towards kids and adults, with a kids experience with no ads whatsoever. The Winkyverse is currently having its first land sale, and since I have started researching it, they've actually extended the private sale until October 9th. This is extremely useful because it is an opportunity to secure land at very low prices and to become one of the early explorers of the very first educational game in the metaverse. This project is definitely worth checking out, in my opinion, if you're interested in blockchain gaming and in the metaverse. So use my link in the description, check out the Winkyverse today, and don't forget that their private sale is going until October 9th, so you can get in at lower prices and be one of the first adopters of the Winkyverse. Anyways, let's get back to the program. But let's talk about what's been going on with crypto, because a few big things are happening while everyone else is trying to predict what's going on in the market. First thing is that we've seen that Bitcoin whales have been continuing to buy Bitcoin. And actually, we're seeing a record-breaking amount of Bitcoin that they bought in the last 7 to 14 days. So according to data from a blockchain analytics company, Sentiment, you can see that since September 27th, addresses holding between 100 and 10,000 Bitcoin have collectively added 46,173 Bitcoin back into their wallets, and this has been moved from USDT back into Bitcoin. So you can see that Bitcoin supply for our Bitcoin whales has been continually increasing, meaning they're continually accumulating and continually buying more, while their supply of USDT has been dropping. Not only this, but we've also also seen that there's been more optimism in the market despite prices really remaining relatively flat, because the number of daily active addresses interacting on the Bitcoin network have increased, even though we've seen prices pretty stagnant. So both of these things are very bullish for things to come. Whales continuing to buying a record amount, over $900 million in just the last couple of days, and seeing that more people are interacting on the network. That is showing us that the big whales, the big money accounts are looking much more optimistic for the outlook for the market. Other thing that we're seeing with Bitcoin is that historically, October is a green month. So people are calling it Uptober, because when we're looking at historical data from CoinGlass, you can see that historically, Bitcoin has a very green October. And you could see since the inception of Bitcoin, since 2013, there's only been 2 years where it was red in October, 2014 and 2018. Other than that, every single year has been green. And if we're looking on historical trends, like we saw in September was historically a red month. Then we saw red this September. If we're looking at historical trends, that would be very good sign for us investors in crypto, seeing that historically October is a green month, and we've already started to see that the month has started off green. Stock market has been green this month. Crypto has been green this month already. So it's nice to see that. And remember, we can't say this is a for sure thing. It's just saying, look, the data shows us that historically October is green. This month in October, we are seeing green. So I would predict, and if I had to say, I would look at this data and say, yep, things are looking bullish with that as well. Third thing with Bitcoin is that Bloomberg analyst Mike McGlone came out and said that Bitcoin is going to outperform most major assets in the second half of 2022 and the remainder of Q4. What he's saying is, look, what we have seen is that historically October is a green month. So Bloomberg analyst is using that indicator as well. He's saying historically October is a green month, but not only this, we are starting to see that the Federal Reserve and markets could be potentially flipping and turning their strategy, because we have started to see data come back down and look more promising. So he says when the ebbing economic tide turns, we should see the propensity to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the major crypto assets increase. So that is something also to keep an eye out on. So ultimately, he's saying the same things we have been saying for a while, that when the Federal Reserve changes its policy, flips it, when we see inflation start to come back down, he expects Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto to have the highest and most volatile increase out of all assets in the market. Last thing I want to go over is with Fidelity, just a bit of institutional news, because we have seen Fidelity announce that they are expanding their crypto suite investment products with an Ethereum index fund. And this index fund already has over $5 million in it since September 26. They launched this index fund according to a recent SEC filing that was basically announced just a few days ago. But Fidelity has been looking to expand more and more into crypto and expand their institutional crypto investment vehicles. They're looking to allow institutions to buy, trade, sell crypto. They've been looking to launch more products, and this is the first out of many that I'm expecting them to be releasing. So a lot of good news for the crypto market. Bad news if you're a Tesla investor. Bad news for Elon Musk, because he looks like he's going to have to sell a lot of shares of Tesla in order to be able to buy Twitter. But we will keep an eye out on what is going on. Either way, crypto's looking good. That is important for a lot of us. And it's good to see that the markets are looking more bullish.